wish I was 6'8". I'm only 6'5". So. All right.
Yeah, there was a report that Giannis had a little cleanup procedure on his knee. You were in Greece a couple weeks ago. I mean, was this something that was bothering him, or was it, did something happen during training?
Well, yes, he had a routine surgery on his left knee, and it went great. Everything went as planned, and we expect him back ready to go in training camp.
Why did you decide you wanted to coach summer league instead of just like being an overseer kind of guy?
I think a couple of things. One, we have a new staff coming in, and it's important that we're all on the same page. And I thought it would benefit everyone if, I get on the floor with certain style of play. It's a little different. Defensively, you like to get into the ball. Offensively, there's certain things that I wanted to incorporate. So we got a great staff. And I think getting to know our players a little bit more. Our players have been great in training camp. So I thought it would be a good idea just to get everyone pulling in, for each other in the same direction.
How's the energy been in practice?
It's awesome. We have awesome energy. We get the music playing. Guys have been working extremely hard, attention to detail. They're really laying it out there. They're extremely coachable, so I really appreciate that from them. And again, I think our coaches have been great. I really believe in, delegating some of that responsibility to the coaches, and they've answered the call.
You talked about your willingness to learn. What's the collaboration process been like with Terry and Joe this first month?
Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons why I want them on my staff is because they know more than I do. So, I get to pick their brain. They've been around the NBA forever. They're seasoned, they're proven. And we've had some really good talks. And, I just allow them to coach, and it's been great.
How did the hiring of Sydney come about?
Oh, that's probably my best hire, I'll be honest with you. No disrespect to the other coaches, but when we lost one of our coaches a couple weeks ago, we were looking kind of, do we go outside and fill that spot, or we look internally? So I was speaking to, Dave and John about filling that spot, and I said, what about, Sid? I think she'd be great. Let's think about moving her up. But before I had the chance, that weekend, Sid called me. And she said, hey, I really think I can do the job. And so she was very confident in herself, and I applaud her for that. And I'll just be honest, when I was doing the interview process, it was all male coaches. I had 100 phone calls and texts, and she was the only female woman coach that reached out. And I think she really set a precedent. I think just with her taking the initiative to say I can do the job, and she can. And, I've leaned on her a great deal in Summer League. She's doing a wonderful job. I think she has a bright future, and I think the best is yet to come.
How does it feel to be a part of that history? Again, she's the first female assistant coach for the Bucks. How does it feel to be a part of that history?
Yeah, honestly, I did not know that. I had no idea. I just been around her for a couple of days. I thought she was well organized, very detailed. And, if I text her, she texts me right back. If I ask for something, the next day was on my desk. And I thought she was extremely professional. So I had no idea she was going to be, making history. We found out after the fact and kind of celebrated, and I announced it to our staff. And I said, hey, we made history. Sid made history. But I do want to say this, that she earned it. I didn't even know we were making history. It was three things that I looked for, and I said this in my press conference when I took the job, is high character, highly competent, and creative coaches. And she meets the profile for all three and beyond. So we're very excited to have her. She's been wonderful in training camp. I mean, she's extremely hardworking, dedicated, committed. So, and she's a good teacher. She's really good on the floor. the players respond to her, and I think they love her as much as I do.
What's her job going to be in Vegas with the Summer League guys?
Well, the benefit of having a smaller staff is, and I spoke to my staff this other day, like all hands on deck. We all are going to do, player development. We're all going to do scouting. We're all going to do, reports and film with players. And for instance, I divided up some of the individual film with our roster players, and she took one of our players and she broke down film, and she was great. So I don't believe in, I think with coaching and development is just, I don't like to kind of pigeonhole one, this is the offensive coach, this is the defense, even though I have it kind of set up that way, but every coach should be able, I was fortunate. I was under a lot of coaches that were strong on both sides of the ball, strong on player development. I think you got to, be well-versed in every aspect of the game, and she certainly is.
What have you seen out of Andre and Chris so far?
They're awesome. We got some really good young pieces, and they work extremely hard. They're working on just getting better in the gym every day. Such a pleasure to coach. I think they got a really bright upside. And I love their versatility. They can play 2, 3, 4. Even if you want to go small ball 5 in a summer league, they could switch. They can guard anybody, 1 through 5. So, what I really appreciate is just their hard work. They stay after practice every day. They're working on their shot. They're working on things that they feel like they need to do to get better. And I think overall, they're just extremely coachable. I haven't had one issue with them. They've been a delight, to coach so far.
What do you think about the opportunity to coach your son and just seeing him in this atmosphere with the Bucks?
That's been fun. My son's been there from day one. He's seen all the ups and downs, and vice versa. He's worked hard to try to get here, and he's had a lot of setbacks over the years as well. And I told him, like, every path is different. You just got to stay on your path and make the best out of it. And he's been, just seeing him out there, and I try not to treat him any differently. I have to yell at him every once in a while so everyone knows, like, I'm not playing favoritism. But it's been cool. I think talking about historic, like, Vin has his son here, and I have my son, so it's kind of fun. We got 2 sons out there, trying to make it, and that's what it's all about. That's the beauty of it. They're chasing their dreams, and we're there just to, support them.
Have you thought about with the new Coaches Challenge rules, how you're going to go about doing that?
I like them. I think to my understanding, if you win your challenge, you have another one, in your pocket. But if it's a TV timeout, obviously you lose that one, right? But you get to at least have a second one challenge in your pocket. So I think it's great. I'll just throw that on one of my assistant coaches and blame them. I'll take the credit when it goes well, and I'll blame them if they get it wrong. So, yeah.
What about the flapping rules? Have you didn't flap?
Yeah. I'm kind of a 90s baby. I came up the hard way, so I wasn't ever a fan of flopping. But there's an art to it, and I always say that the players, like, I don't think it's a bad thing. The players are always going to find a way to be competitive, and they're going to stretch the rules sometime, and that's to their credit, and you got to. It's hard to win, and you use as many things in your favor, But at the same time, the NBA has this challenge of keeping the game pure, and I think we need each other, and so again, I'm glad I don't have to make any of those calls, but it's part of the game, and we I think one thing we all just trying to make this game is leave it better. for tomorrow's youth, and that's all we're trying to do.
What are you looking forward to most from your guys on Friday when you do play your first game?
Just to compete. We're talking about being the toughest, the meanest summer league team out there, being the most physical team. We want to get in the ball, create some turnovers, get out and run, give ourselves a chance. I think when you defend at a high level, you always give yourself a chance, and it's just a beauty of this game when you play hard and you play together, just good things happen. I played 9 years. I averaged 4 points a season. But, I played extremely hard and try to help my team win, and good things happen, And I told the players that I got 2 summer league jobs. 2 NBA jobs off summer league. So I believe in it. I believe in them. Just how I started my career in summer league and ended up playing 9 years. So when I sit down and talk to them about, listen, if we go there and we win, I'm not saying you'll be on the NBA roster, but you give yourself the best chance. And so it happened for me twice.
I know it's not official yet. Could you just kind of speak to what Chris and Brooke have brought to this team and what you saw from them?
Well, I can't comment on that right now, but when the time comes, I'm definitely open to answer that question.
With these summer league guys, you have to get to know them pretty quickly. How do you come up with a development plan for all of them?
I mean, that's a good question. I watch a lot of film, a lot of college, clips, and with technology, it helps my job, makes my job a lot easier. But I like to get them on the court and just get to work, just throw them out there in the fire, see how they respond to coaching, see how they respond to adversity, see how they're competing in the games. And what I mean by the games is our summer training camp. We scrimmage a lot. And, again, I think they've been awesome. They compete really hard. And they're not going to know all the answers. They're not going to know all the plays. But I just like their grit and determination to get better and push each other. One of the things we've been stressing in our practices is just moving from pace to pace, from drill to drill. And they've just bought in, and completely. I had no issues, and so they've been a pleasure. Yep. Thank you. Thank you all. Appreciate you.